Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week, and overall it was a pretty good week. I'd say the best way to describe this week was great. Most of the movies I watched got a 4-star ranking or in between that 80 and 90 range for myself, and obviously you can tell by the thumbnail of the video that I basically watched a whole bunch of Godzilla and Kong this week. So let's get right into it. We're going to start it off with a short film, which is not my least favorite watch of the week, but I do feel like it's a good place to start. So let's talk about The Spider Within, a Spider-Verse story. So I will read my review for this because I think it's a pretty good review. So another reason proving that Miles is the best Spider-Man, and that's largely due to how amazing the writing of his character is. The Spider-Verse version of Miles is the most relatable superhero, in my opinion. I don't deal with anxiety as much as I used to, and I'm very fortunate for that, but this made me anxious, which is obviously kind of what it was supposed to do, right? And this is really just a great message of, you know, you're not alone. There's someone to help you. There is someone that is willing to help you, and you are not alone in this world, right? Everyone feels anxiety in different ways. Everybody feels those challenges in different ways. And reach out to your peers or your family or whoever you need to, if you need to. So, yeah, I did rank this an 80 out of 100. Yeah. Let's keep going to actually my least favorite movie of the week, which was the 2016 Ghostbusters. I watched every Ghostbusters movie this week, and for the most part, the franchise is good, I'll say. Like, average ranking for them, I would say they're probably good. I don't think many of them are anything too special. We'll talk about that here shortly. So, anyways, the only thing I really enjoyed about this movie was Chris Hemsworth. Although there was a couple of laughs in it. Although this is definitely just easily my least favorite Ghostbusters movie. I ranked it a 40 out of 100. So, but yeah, let's keep going on to another Ghostbusters. But it's actually the newest one, which is Frozen Empire, which I ranked a 67 out of 100. Overall, it just kind of made me like Phoebe more than anything. I think Phoebe's probably my favorite character in this franchise now. And I love Carrie Coon, and I love Paul Rudd. So I did enjoy this movie, but I didn't think it was that great. Me and Ryan went to go to the theater for a double feature on Friday this week. We watched Frozen Empire, and then we watched Godzilla and Kong after that, but we'll talk about that here shortly. Yeah, overall, I didn't really love this movie. Ryan really liked it. It was the second time he's seen it. He enjoyed it more on rewatch as well. So, yeah. But I'll move on to Ghostbusters 2 from 1989. I still enjoyed this one, but I don't know. This one just didn't really do it for me as much as the first one. So it gets a 69 out of 100. So it's still a decent movie. Gets that 3 stars. It's almost good, I would say. And obviously, some people are pretty biased to the older Ghostbusters movies, but I didn't think this one was great, really, by any means. So, overall, though, I still did enjoy it, and I enjoyed my time with it. But let's move on to the original Godzilla from 1954. This movie turns 70 years old in November this year, which is very cool. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, no matter how you look at this movie, this is one of the most innovative, inventive, and influential movies of history because of how popular this character of Godzilla is. There's almost 40 different Godzilla movies, which, I mean, obviously that's a span of 70 years, but that's a lot, right? That's crazy. And Gojira or Godzilla is just such a big name, right? And obviously a pioneer for sci-fi, really. Like, this is super great, which obviously I didn't love this movie. It gets a 75 out of 100 for me. I did still enjoy my time with it, but the acting was really hard to watch in this movie, and I found this hard to sit through, and it was only an hour and a half, which isn't a good thing, obviously. And I've watched older movies that I've been way more interested in, so I definitely think this is the worst of the Godzilla movies I've watched so far, which is quite sad, and I know that's a hot take as well. A lot of people don't like the newer Godzilla movies, apart from like -1. But yeah, so with that being said, we'll just keep on moving on to Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. So like I said, me and Ryan went for a double feature this weekend, and we seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and then after that we seen Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire, which I did enjoy this one more than Frozen Empire, but it's still my least favorite in the MonsterVerse. It gets a 78 out of 100 for me. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I thought it was good, but yeah, I don't know. It just definitely wasn't as good as some of the previous ones, or all of the previous ones, I should say. But yeah, I love my review for this one because seriously, you are fucked no matter where you live on this planet because you are dying if you are in this MonsterVerse. It's terrible. Nowhere is safe. Literally, no one is safe. But let's keep going to the original Ghostbusters from 1984, and I ranked this an 80 out of 100. I thought it was a great movie, but ultimately I was a little let down with this as well. I've heard such good things about this, and this is a super like silly, quirky sci-fi movie from the 80s, and I feel like you can really tell, you can really see that. So overall, this definitely wasn't my favorite movie. It's not even my favorite movie of the franchise, which I think is a hot take. I'm sure that's a hot take. I'm sure most people would have the first one as the best, but in my opinion, it's not. So an 80 out of 100 is obviously still great, though. So not a bad movie whatsoever. I just was a little bit disappointed. I expected this to be high or ranked higher than I did rank it. So, that's all right though. Oh, Kitty came to say hi. Up next, we have October Sky from 1999, and I remember I watched this movie in school a long time ago. I think I might have been in middle school, to be honest, so I had kind of remembered it a little bit, but ultimately I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. I didn't really remember how it ended, but I did enjoy this. It was a really good, feel-good movie, to be honest. I ranked it an 82 out of 100, and I really enjoyed my time with it. And I like the cast as well. The cast was really good, so yeah, overall, it was just a great movie in my opinion. Let's keep going to Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, when I had first run through the MonsterVerse, I believe 2 years ago now, I was a firm believer that each one of these movies just got better and better as time went on, but I actually kind of flipped that this week when I rewatched them. So like I said, I originally thought that that all the MonsterVerse movies were just better and better than the previous, but it's actually kind of a little bit all over the place now. And even while I was watching them this week, I'm like, yeah, they still just get better and better. But then I did some more thinking about it, and I really changed my reviews, or not my reviews, but my ranks, and the list changed quite a fair amount. So Godzilla vs. Kong, there is still not enough Godzilla vs. Kong in this movie, obviously. That's the biggest complaint about this movie for most people. And most of the movies in this franchise, there's too much humans and there's not enough monsters, which that is one thing I did enjoy about the new one, Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire, that there was a lot more monster. But obviously, there was still just so much annoying human in it. But yeah, with Godzilla vs. Kong, I lowered this ranking a lot. I didn't realize I had this at a 94 out of 100. I lowered it to an 83 out of 100. So yeah, and I feel like if I were to rewatch these again, they probably I wouldn't be surprised if they got lower again. But yeah, an 83 out of 100 is just not good. So let's move on to Kong Skull Island, which I also lowered the ranking for. I lowered it from an 86 to an 85, so I still think it's great as well. And yeah, I mean, there's probably the most monster action out of any of the MonsterVerse movies in this movie, so I really enjoyed that, and that was really good. I enjoyed this. I want to say I enjoyed this more than the previous time I watched it, even though I lowered the ranking, which is weird. I know that doesn't really make any sense, but yeah. Anyways, I really enjoyed the cast in this one, but yeah. Overall, let's just keep moving on to Godzilla King of Monsters, which I ranked an 86 out of 100, lowered from an 87 out of 100, and this one is really great to look at. This one has so many beautiful shots. There's a ton of different monsters in it, which is really cool to see. We get a lot of different monsters in it. Same with Kong Skull Island, really. So it's nice to get those different monsters. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy this, but it still also gets lowered a little bit. But I really came to love Godzilla while rewatching these. I really, really love Godzilla now. So with that being said, let's move on to my favorite Ghostbusters movie, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't know if it's a hot take to have this as my favorite. I think so, to be honest, but I feel like most people have Afterlife and the original as their top two in this franchise, apart from maybe Ghostbusters 2. So I don't really feel like it's really that much of a hot take, even if it is my favorite. But I ranked it an 86 out of 100, and the ending scene for this movie had me in stitches, bro. Like in a bad way, but in a good way. Like I had full body chills throughout the entire final fight scene. It was so good. It was so good, man. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it, and just everything from this movie was a really fun movie. I loved the cast as well, and I really regret not watching this when it came out a few years ago. So with that being said, though, let's move on to the 1933 King Kong, the original King Kong from 91 years ago, which is crazy. Yeah, I'm really glad I got to watch this week because I really enjoyed my time with it. And similarly to the first Godzilla, this one is ahead of its time, and it was truly innovative and inventive for its time, and it looks really great. For obviously 1933. That's crazy. That's now my oldest movie I've watched, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, it was just a great watch. I ranked it an 87 out of 100. I really enjoyed my time with it. So, and it flew by, to be honest, especially comparing it to Godzilla. Godzilla I struggled to sit through, and King Kong I flew through. And that's the way it felt, at least. So really enjoyed my time with King Kong. But let's move on to, actually that was number 3, but yeah, I guess we're now in the top 3. Now, for my second favorite watch of the week, it is Godzilla 2014. And this movie honestly seems to grow on me more and more. And yeah, I love the way I started this review. Obviously, you can read it, but if this didn't come out the same year as Whiplash and Interstellar, I believe it could have won some awards for sound design because it's truly incredible. The sound design in this movie is fucking amazing, man. It sounds so good, and this is easily the best looking of the MonsterVerse movies. The CGI, I think, is the best, and the cinematography in every scene is so beautiful. There are so many visual masterpieces throughout this movie, and it looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, still to this day, my biggest gripe with this movie, alongside most people, is that there's not enough monster and there's too much human, but what can you do, right? So with that being said, we will move on to my favorite watch of the week, which this one really surprised me, but It is Late Night with the Devil. I seen it in theaters yesterday, and I had so much fun with this movie. I enjoyed this movie so much. I ranked it a 92 out of 100. This is my second favorite watch of 2024, and I absolutely loved this movie. It was really, really awesome. I had so much fun with it. I loved the filming of it. I thought it was great to look at. I loved the transitioning from color to black and white, and the story was just really interesting and really cool. I had a really good time with this movie, and I loved it. So honestly, if you guys want to go see a horror movie from 2024, this is definitely the best so far, and I would watch this, in my opinion. It's more of a thriller for the most part, but there is some horror elements to it. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.